At this point, we've removed all the bits that are very easy to remove, and you can see them there. But what we can't see how to do is how to actually put this wheel back in here, because if you try to just place it there, these bits don't move. And this bit here has to go inside there. And without these bits moving, it's not going to happen. I could find plenty of videos that showed you how to oil the wheel, but I couldn't find a single one that showed you how to actually position the new wheel back in, because what has happened is on my old wheel, the grandkids pressed very hard and they broke this bit off, and it was too small and fiddly. You couldn't glue it back. I had to buy a new wheel, which I've done, but none of the videos showed how to put it back. But I've worked it out, so I'm putting this video up here. And it is also very simple. I cannot do the whole thing while videoing it because I've only got one hand. But the simple bit is you just unclick the back plate there, and then this moves and you can get it into position. So I have to do that with two hands. So with the board slightly raised, you can see that it was quite simple to insert the little end of the wheel into that, and then you just need to push it back down to reseat the board. I'm going to need to use two hands for that as well. So with two hands and a gentle squeeze, pushing this back down, it's clipped back in to the clips which are on the side here. No screws involved, very simple, but it's back in. This is the new wheel and it turns fine. You can feel the movement is just as it should be. There's the double click there. So this will work for the m275 or the m300, any of those that is in this configuration. There are videos that show these wheels being greased up over here and over here. For me, there's no need. It was simply that the wheel was broken and I don't need to grease it. It works well. And now I'm going to reassemble it, which is also very simple, but I can't do it with one hand. So this part is going back on. So having tried to put that part back on, it didn't quite go down enough, and then I realized that when you squeeze the board back, there is a little part that sticks up over here, and you have to make sure that that is aligned so that this little black part has poked through. So what I had to do was come on this side and using my nail just shimmied the board along a bit until I could see the black post through there, and then push down and it clicked again. So that bit was missed. So now I'm going to go back to seeing if I can put the cover back on. When you're putting the cover back on, you want to start with this end because it has a slight clip over the top here. It's not a squeeze from the top down. It's shimmy this bit over, make sure this bit is seated, and then you can squeeze the rest down. So having first ensured that this bit was seated correctly, which is a slight push forward, bring it around, bring it over, bring it back, that fitted in properly, and then the back was just a gentle push and it came into position. When you disassemble it, under the battery section where there's the sticker that you remove to access the screw that keeps it all in place, that screw must be screwed back in. I'm not going to worry about screwing the screw back in for the moment. I'm just seeing, right, that's positive. Here's my battery. That's positive. It goes in this way. That's fine. And then obviously putting the battery cover on is simple. And then we have the top, and I am going to give this a bit of a clean. So I've been upstairs to get the screw and some cleaning equipment, and then I found this is the wheel that my grandkids broke. So you can see how delicate it is, the bit that they snapped off. And this is why I had to buy a new wheel. That is the bit of plastic that broke off. That is the bit that had to be pushed in while we had to loosen the board. So I've put the screw back now, by the way. Just cleaning this bit with a earbud, and some surgical spirit. To do it with one hand is very difficult. I don't have a camera set up that I can use, so I'm just having to do this on my phone, as you can tell. So I'm just going to use two hands for that. So it's nice and clean now, and I'm going to put the lid back on. By lid I mean, of course, the buttony part. And this should also just be a simple push down from the top. Again, I'm going to use two hands. Okay, I had to take a step backwards, and because I discovered you can't put the top on when the mouse is assembled. So I've taken it apart again, and now the top should be able to be attached to that part of the mouse. Okay, that part is back on now. So what I didn't realize when I was disassembling this to try and replace the mouse wheel was that I didn't need to remove this at all. It was just I got a little bit carried away and enthusiastic at the time, thinking I was going to deep clean it, and I removed it. It was a bit tricky to put it back on. You have to slide it in first so that this part here and this part here are seated correctly. And then once this part here and this part here is seated correctly, then you come to the back here. And there are two clips on either side. You need to squeeze them in so that they can be inserted and clip into place. So that's done. I'm going to go back to put this back now onto the mouse. And bingo, together again. And works fine. The wheel is great. I'm going to test it on the actual computer, make sure it's not broken. Oh, the light comes on, that's good.